It was a lovely day in the town of Meh, formerly known as Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy. Oh, there you are. Hello. Well, it is time for another tale from Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, formerly known as. Oh, no, it's the other way around. My goodness, how mixed up can one get? Anyway, Sheepy, Weepy, have a seat here, because it's time for you to grab your children and your grandchildren, your nieces and nephews, and everyone around and come to listen to the story Silly Tales I Tell My Grandchildren. And this one is about Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, now called Meh, and the lousy lettuce. It was actually a beautiful day in Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, now called Meh. The sun was shining, the grass was growing, and Mr. Smiley-Wiggle, remember Mr. Frosted Tart Smiley-Wiggles, was on his way to meet with the Grand Cow, the mayor of the town called Meh, formerly known as Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy. And so, as he got to the mayor's office, the Grand Cow, because she was the mayor, she said to him, "Oh my, you're here already. I was just getting ready to call you and cancel our meeting. I know you wanted to talk to me about your wonderful idea, but I think we have a bit of a crisis." "A crisis?" said Smiley Wiggles. "Oh, what's going on?" "Well, I've just gotten off the phone with Dr. Farquhar Ferris Wheel Friendly." "Oh, yes, okay. And he tells me more and more people of our town are getting sick. Very sick. And we are trying to figure out what's going on, both humans and talking animals. And he said he thinks he's narrowed it down to the cause, and it's a disaster if it's true." "Well, what's wrong?" "Well, he thinks that the lettuce is contaminated, which means the gardens are contaminated. Both our huge garden that we have, a lettuce garden just near the end of town, and then everybody's own private gardens, because you have to understand." "Oh, I know," said Smiley Wiggles. "Just about everybody here, except for me and a few other animals and people just don't like lettuce, but everybody else around here seems to love their lettuce." "Well, of course we do. We love our lettuce. And we put it on everything. We put it on our cereal. We put it on our salads. We put lettuce on top of lettuce. We put it on our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We put it in our soup. Salad is our most famous, best, favorite topping of everything. It goes on our ice cream sundaes. It goes just everything. We cook it into our chili. And you don't understand how good it tastes." "I'm not a lettuce fan," said Smiley Wiggle. "But this is bad. What will happen?" "Well, listen, if people are getting worried, if the ground is contaminated, then that means, I don't know. People are talking about if it's really bad and it can't be fixed, we might have to move out." "Move out?" said Smiley Wiggle. "Well, that's horrible. What would you do? Where would you go?" We'd have to find another place. We'd have to just abandon the town. And it's terrible. And Dr. Farquhar, he thinks he's found maybe an antidote, but that doesn't necessarily solve the contamination problem." "Wait a minute. Did you say everybody would have to abandon the town?" "Oh, yes." And she started to cry. "Oh, they'd have to leave all the nice houses and the playpens and the gardens and their friends, and oh my goodness, and we love lettuce as much as standing butter. Running margarine loves his butter and margarine. We love our lettuce, and we just can't bear to be separated. Oh my gosh!" And she cried some more. And Smiley Wiggles said, "Oh, my dear Mayor, Miss Grand Cow, please, settle down. Let me think. Let me just think a minute. So if the ground is contaminated, you would have to abandon the town, maybe even leave it, and just walk away from it. Everybody would be gone." Yes, she cried and she sobbed. And then Smiley Wiggle, remember, formerly known as Victor Jr., thought, he thought some deep thoughts to himself. He thought some interesting thoughts to himself. He thought some thoughts that made him think harder and harder, and then he thought of something. but he didn't want to say it yet. He said, "You know, Grand Cow, I think I might just go over to see Dr. Farquhar and have a chat with him. If he's identified that the lettuce is the problem, and maybe he's come up with an antidote, I should go check." "Oh, yes, please do that. I need to put myself together. I don't think I can give milk to anybody today. I'm so sorry. I think I'm going to cancel all my appointments and maybe just have a nap. Oh, I can't believe we're going to lose the town." Now, it may not be as bad as you think. Hang in there." So Smiley Wiggle made his way over to Dr. Farquhar. The human doctor was just too busy treating humans, and Dr. Farquhar was pretty good as a detective sometimes, and remember, he received his name, Dr. Farquhar Ferriswheel Friendly, because his parents' last name was Friendly, and when his mother was expecting him, they got stuck on the top of the Ferris wheel at the Farquhar Annual Fair, and she went into labor, and she gave birth to him at the very top of the Ferris wheel. But there were no human doctors around because it was a fair. There was a veterinarian there. And so the veterinarian came when they managed to get to the bottom finally after the Ferris wheel got unstuck. And he helped with the baby. And that's why Farquhar got so interested in becoming a veterinarian himself, because the one had helped him just as he was born. So now he was a veterinarian and helped all the talking animals in Meh, formerly known as Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, stay healthy. Except right now he had a problem. He had a whole bunch of sick talking animals, and he knew from the other human doctor that there were, a doctor who treated humans, that there were more people as well as talking animals getting sick because they were eating the lettuce. And he discovered that only the people who didn't eat the lettuce were still healthy. But he did some tests. He was really good at chemistry. He did some other things, and he figured out it was the lettuce that was contaminated. Of course, that's what worried them about the whole ground. If the ground was contaminated, it was contaminating the lettuce, which was making people sick. However, he said, and he studied it some more, and he came up with an antidote, at least what he thought would be an antidote that would work. So by the time Smiley Wiggles arrived there, he was preparing an antidote for some of the people in the treatment rooms and in the waiting room, because it was pretty crowded, people, crowded. Anyways, so Smiley Wiggle, where was I? Smiley Wiggle came and he met with the doctor as he was, and he said, "I'm really busy." He said, "It's okay, I understand, but I just have a question for you. Have you seen anybody who loves lettuce? Are there any animals who really love lettuce whom you haven't seen, whom you haven't had to treat, that haven't come by because they're feeling sick?" And Dr. Farquhar gave it some thought, and he said, I wonder. Oh, I know. Well, we haven't seen the pirates. The pirates? Yes, the pirates, the pirates. The pirates, the rats who love pie. They haven't shown up. And I know they like the lettuce, but they must not have been eating it because they have not shown up. Oh, the pirates, eh? That's very interesting. I have a favor to ask, Dr. F. What is it, then? Well, do you think I could borrow some of the lettuce that you've been working on, like the contaminated lettuce? I promise I'll be very careful, and I definitely won't eat it. I don't like to eat lettuce anyways. Well, I have certainly a lot here that I've been testing and whatnot, but I do have some that I haven't done anything to, so you could take like a good chunk of the ones over here. All right, thank you. What are you going to do with the lettuce? What are you going to do with the lettuce? What am I going to do with the lettuce? Yes, well, I think I just take it home. And I think I'm going to bake myself some pies. And Dr. Farquhar Ferriswheel Friendly looked at him very strangely and said, "Oh, I see. Because it made absolutely no sense. Anyways, Smiley Wheel went home, and he made a whole bunch of pies. Cherry pie, lemon meringue pie, banana cream pie, apple pie, peach pie, raspberry pie, strawberry pie, apple pie, more apple pie. You name it, he made it. All sorts of kinds of pie. He just made lots of pies. But you know what else he did? I bet you can guess. He made them with lettuce. He baked them right in. He baked the lettuce. Yes, he baked the lettuce right into the pies. And then he put the pies out into his backyard, in his front yard, and his neighbors on either side, and on his sidewalk and in his gardens, because he knew that pirates liked pie. So he left them out overnight, and in the morning he went to see Dr. Farquhar. And he said, Dr. Farquhar, so you to make your pies? And he said, of course, I made a lot. What happened to them? What'd you do with them? Well, I put them out. You put them out where? Well, just outside, everywhere, on the sidewalk, in the house, in the garden. My neighbors have them. What happened? Well, you see, a lot of the pies got eaten, or parts of them anyways. Oh, I don't know who you think did that. Oh, well, let's just see if you have some visitors soon. Visitors soon. Yes. And what do you know? All of a sudden, there was knocking on the door and the bell ringing as a whole bunch of pirates came into Dr. Farquhar's clinic. And they were not feeling well at all. In fact, they were holding their tummies because they felt very sick, because they had gotten into the pies with the lettuce. I see, said Dr. Farquhar. I see, said Dr. Farquhar. You've gotten in some sick. You must have got into the lettuce. But you haven't been here before. What have you done? And Smiley Wiggles said, I know you have the antidote, he whispered to the doctor. He said, let me just ask the pirates a few questions, would you? Of course you could do whatever you like. It's very strange that they haven't been sick and now they're sick and who knows. Smiley Wiggles said to the pirates, so you're not feeling well? Were you by my house by any chance? Did you get into some pies that I made? And they all cried at once. Oh, did you know what I put in the pies? No, I didn't know. If we know you put lettuce in the pies, we wouldn't eat the pies because you would have had the bad lettuce in the pies. Bad lettuce? How would you know the lettuce was bad? Well, everybody was getting sick and I was just running to eat them. Let me ask you another question, pirates. Have you been in touch with my father? I know who your father is. No. Well, did you by chance make a deal with a man named Victor Vomit? Oh, and they stopped. They stopped crying for a minute. They looked horrified. You found out about Victor Vomit? How do you know how Victor Vomit was so sick? I don't know what Victor Vomit? No, we don't know. Yes, we know. No. Some were saying yes, we know, but others were saying no, we don't. As they cried some more because they were in so much pain in their tummies and they had to run to the bathroom, a couple of them, and then they came back and they cried some more. Worse than the Grand Gal. And then Smiley Wiggles said, so, did you happen to make a deal with Victor Vomit that if you did something to the lettuce to make it bad, that it would make people sick, then they would think that the lettuce was contaminated, so the ground was contaminated, and they would be so sick and upset and worried and concerned that the ground was contaminated all through Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, now called Meh, that everyone would have to move? How did you know that? How would you know that? Yes, that was going to happen. I see. And what would Victor Vomit do then? Did he tell you? You just go somewhere else and then the people would move away and then he could come in and he could build things for snobby rich people, big mansions and make lots of money. I'm so sorry. We're so sorry. We hurt so much in our tummies. Ah. And what did my father, Victor Vomit... Is your father? Oh my God, what did Victor Vomit, my father, offer you for this plan? to do that to the lettuce and make everyone pretty much sick. He promised that he would give us all the cheese in the world from all his factories that we could ever want in our whole lives because he owns cheese factories and he was going to give us all the cheese and he promised. I see. Yes, he does own cheese factories. What do you think we should do with you, though, pirates? Dr. Farquhar has an antidote. What you mean, Captain? No, could we have him? We're so sorry. We apologize. We're so sick. I gotta go to the bathroom again. How many of you gotta go? Oh, okay. Go to the bathroom. Dr. F and I will have a little chat. Dr. Farquhar was very impressed. Oh, it's very amazing. You figured that out. Well, I never saw this coming, and then, yeah, so the ground's not contaminated at all. They just did it like that. I see. Well, I have an antidote. What should I do? Well, this is my thought, Dr. F. I think we should give some of them the antidote and promise to give the rest of them the antidote after they have a little visit and chat with my father, because I have another plan. I saved a couple pies, don't you know? And I know what my father's favorite pies is, and you know what's in the pies? I heard you put letters in the pies, didn't you? I see what your plan is. And that's exactly what happened. So they sent some of the pirates off to meet with Victor Vomit in his offices in the town city far away, and they kept the rest of them there with them in the clinic and gave them the antidote so they could start feeling better. And then, this is what happened when some of the pirates met Victor in his office. He said, Victor, we brought you. Oh, we brought you. Only 2 of the rats out of the 5 had the antidote that visited with Victor, so a couple of them were still not feeling very well. And the other one took over and said, we brought you some pie as a thank you for giving us all the cheese you're going to give us. Oh, lovely, said Victor. Vomit. I love these kinds of pies. How did you know? Anyways, and he grabbed a fork off his desk and he gobbled them up, both of them, because he was a glutton and he was large and he was hungry. So that was his morning breakfast because it was still early. But as soon as he got both pies down into his stomach, he started to feel sick too. And then he was really sick, like really, really sick. His stomach was gurgling and burbling and bubbling, and he thought he was going to have some problems in the bathroom. Yes, he did. So he went to the bathroom and came out very, very sick and said, what have you done to me? And the rat said, I'm so sorry, they made us do it. We got to get the antidote, and they said, I need a note. There's a note. Look at the note at the bottom of the first pie. So Victor ran over before he was going to be sick again and read the note. The note was signed Victor Jr., and it said, Father, you can't do this. You need to stop trying to steal Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, now called Meh, from all its wonderful people. They are not moving. And if you don't say you're going to stop, the rats who are there are not going to give you the antidote, and you're going to be sick from the lettuce for a long time, just like you made some of the people and talking animals in Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, formerly called Meh. And Victor couldn't stand being sick. He was so sick, it was terrible. So he begged the pirates for the antidote. And they gave it to him. And then they gave the rest who are still feeling sick more of the antidote. And Victor promised. He promised on his heart. He said, I won't do it again, I promise. I wonder if you trust Victor Vomit. I wonder if you think he really meant it. At any rate, the pirates were feeling better, and they went back to Sheepy, Weepy, Wimpy, Wompy, now called Meh. And by that time, Dr. Farquhar and the doctor who treated humans, whom we haven't named yet, because we haven't figured out what his name is, or her name is, helped everyone feel much better. The Grand Cow was so happy that they didn't have to move. She called a town hall meeting and announced there was going to be a big dance and party in 2 days, and they were all going to celebrate that they didn't have to move. And of course, she had stopped crying and was giving away her milk for free again. And Smiley Wiggles, everybody thanked him for being such a hero. But only Dr. Farquhar and him really knew what had happened and who was behind the plot. Them, of course, and the pirates. And some of them were so embarrassed they actually got into a boat and they paddled away to the island in the lake that was just off Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy, now called Meh. And we'll hear more about what happened with them in another story when we have to talk about the great ribbit kangaroo debate and how the pirates were involved in it with the seagulls. But that's a completely different story. Right now, just know that the lousy lettuce was lousy no more, and everybody, humans and talking animals alike in Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy, now called Meh, were all feeling much, much better, and now all getting ready for the big celebration dance. And that's a longer story than normal, but I hope you enjoyed it and were able to keep track of it. Remember, hashtag Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy, hashtag Meh. And yeah, you want to say goodbye to Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy? Say bye. Bye. And of course, to the grand cow who is getting ready. Oh, you're upside down, silly cow. That's her dance. Getting ready for the big dance. We will see you soon. I hope you all enjoyed silly stories I tell my grandchildren. And this one about Sheepy Weepy Wimpy Wompy, now called Meh, and the lousy lettuce, which is lousy no more. Goodbye.